way too short. Okay. Hi. Well, quite a few of you people that there I know personally and have known what's been going on in the last few days. Few people spoke of what's been happening provincially, how we've had some discrimination, some things that don't seem Canadian happening in Alberta. My experience in the last 2 weeks was federal. I was just released from federal prison on Tuesday after being left in a maximum security segregation, which gave me enough time to think. Well, 2 weeks of segregation to that. Besides all the unlawful and inhumane things that I've actually experienced, which shocked me to my very core that it's happening in Canada and in the backyard of our Minister of Institution and our Prime Minister in Ottawa. What actually broke my heart is witnessing what was happening to the people surrounding. People who work in institutions, people who are government employees, going from to people who minor offenders, as I understood it, or from what I overheard, and telling them things that I can't repeat now. There's too many kids. I used this term before, but for the first time, I felt it was a disgrace. I've never believed in conspiracy theories. I've never saw the system as we purpose to destroy or to discriminate against a certain faith, certain gender, certain sexual orientation, etc., etc. But a friend of mine responded with an email when I sent, after my release, and in her email there was a quote: "If you're neutral in times of injustice, you've chosen the side of oppressor," by Bishop Tutu. We live in Canada and we believe in freedoms. We have, at least as far as I know, we have every right to speak our mind, we have every right to reject discrimination, and for the most part we do. But I also was told by CBSA government official that we're still better than other countries. I suggest you don't complain much. I've never punched someone in my entire life, actually, but all that was going in my head: never punch a woman, never punch a woman. That was so offensive. I have never in my life felt so offended for someone comparing our human rights in such demeaning way and saying that, well, we do abuse human rights, that's fine, we're still better than other countries, so, well, keep your mouth shut, basically. I don't think that's Canada as I know it. I have lived here for 5 years, and I've always identified myself as Canadian despite what the paperwork and the legal system have said. And I go back to the quote: if you stand still, if you're neutral in times of injustice, you've chosen to side with the oppressor. And I wonder what could we do? Yes, hope, and yes, actions. We need to get on that. I think we've sat behind and sat quietly as the government who I've identified with for a very long time have abused our social system, and there's been the social injustice is incomprehensible, and I don't think that anyone could. I'm sorry, I'm trying to I'm trying not to get emotional. Our system we may prosper economically, we may have a good health care, but if our social justice fails, our nation fails. And I think that stands above everything. Our morals, our rights, what makes us Canadians, what makes anyone Canadian. And I don't know what exactly I can do yet. I'm still in the process of figuring that out. But I'm here and I was invited there thanks to Chevy and Kim. And all I can do is actually to call on each and every one of us to find a way to do something. There is an election coming, it was called today. I don't. You have the power to change things. I believe in social justice. And I will leave it at that.
Thank you, John, for your speech. We're going to have one more speaker. His name is Junaid. Would you like to come and say a few words? He spoke last year. He's a really cool guy.
I acknowledge my friends Reverend Audrey Brooks and Reverend Mark Chang, and I call upon them to come up to the stage and flank me from both sides to send a strong message to LGBT youth that the clergy stands by them, that they are not alone. In the 13th century, the Persian mystic Sadi said, "To comfort a single heart with a single act of kindness is better than 1,000 prostrations in prayer." He was echoing the Quran, which views all humanity as a single community, on different paths to truth, and which ordains Muslims to protect temples, synagogues, and churches. The Prophet admonished Muslims to defend Jews, Christians, and all humanity till Judgment Day. Yet, Puritans with petrodollars have mangled this simple faith of mine beyond recognition. Their supremacist streak is only matched by the anti-Muslim bigotry of hate mongers. To end this vicious cycle of hate, Maulana Wahiduddin Khan taught me to have merciless introspection in my own backyard, Edmonton. So I call upon Muslims of all stripes, Sunni, Shia, Ismaili, and Ahmadi, to stand by my friend Rob Wells. There's a guy with a sign up there. A simple man with simple means, a man old enough to be my father, yet verbally abused and physically assaulted, falsely arrested and casually sidelined, gay bashed at the hands of my own co-religionists. Over 2 years ago, and who till date has been denied justice. So I call upon fellow Muslims to uphold the Prophet's words that keeping good relations with people is better than all the fasting, all the praying, and all the charity in the world. I call upon Muslims of all stripes, Sunni, Shia, Ismaili, and Ahmadi, to come to the aid of John Calvin, a young, fragile gay man from Palestine, who converted to Christianity, whose own family tried to murder him, who suffered tremendous violation of his God-given dignity, and whose life hangs by the noose with looming deportation. I call upon fellow Muslims to send out a strong message that draconian punishments on apostasy and homosexuality have no room in Islam, and to uphold the Quran when it commands to stand by justice even if we have to go against our own people. Our hearts are often hardened by false piety and mindless devotion. But the Prophet ﷺ taught to love for humanity what we love for our own selves. So if we yearn for intimacy, affection and companionship, we cannot take that away from our LGBT brothers and sisters. And if we yearn for our identity and freedom to worship, we cannot take that away from our Ahmadi brothers and sisters. We must recognize that the bedrock of Islam is Tawheed, oneness that unites all humanity, Sunni, Shia, Ismaili, Ahmadi, and all, Hindu, Sikh, Christian, Jew, and all, First Nation, atheist, gay, trans, and all, the homeless, the prostitute, the weak, and all, on. This radical Tawheed is not an option, it is an obligation. So now I ask you all, do we leave Rob Wells and John Calvin to their fate? Do we let them stand alone?